The 2021 NASCAR Cup Series season rolls on into Sparta, Kentucky as we're here at the 1.5 mile Kentucky Speedway for the next NASCAR Cup Series race. Trey, it's exciting to be here at one of the best mile-and-a-half tracks we have on the schedule, the Kentucky Speedway. The last two seasons we've come here, we've seen amazing finishes. Kurt Busch and Kyle Busch back in 2019. Then last season, Cole Custer's 4-wide pass for the win. And Trey, with how this season has been going with Joe Gibbs Racing versus Hendrick Motorsports, Penske getting themselves into the equation at points as well, this could be one exciting battle, especially with Larson on pole and 3 Joe Gibbs cars right behind him.
Yeah, Larson's kind of in a Joe Gibbs sandwich there, don't you think? He might be kind of expecting some team plays to come into this. But Joe, I mean, I'm so excited to be up in this booth, and I can't wait for another fantastic, classic Kentucky finish here.
Yes, it's going to be an exciting race for sure. NASCAR, Trey, has brought some changes here to Kentucky. We'll talk about as we get further on into the race. But from what we've seen, Trey, this is probably something that should really, really enhance the racing product for this race and possibly be moving forward when we get to this next-gen car next year.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Joe, everything's pointing towards that exact point right there. So I'll be excited to see, how these guys do. And honestly, if it's good enough, we can bring it to the next gen. Well, we're set.
Oh, yeah. NASCAR racing will be set for the future, that's for sure. Let's quickly go through the top 10 starting lineup just to get a feel of where some of these major names are starting at the front of the field. Kyle Larson, very impressive season thus far. He's been very impressive in the summer months. He is on pole for this one. Right to his outside, Martin Truex Jr., he hasn't been that good, Trey, on these higher downforce racetracks. So we'll have to see if Truex can try and show some muscle here at the Kentucky Speedway where we have the higher downforce. Kyle Busch in the 18, he scored some wins earlier this season at Kansas, also at Pocono on that fuel mileage ending. We'll have to see if Kyle can try and bring some of that momentum from Pocono here into Kentucky. And Denny Hamlin still searching for that first win, but he's been awfully consistent up there in the points lead. We'll see if Hamlin can try and get it done here today for that first victory this season. Brad Keselowski, that lone win at Talladega, looking for another one for Team Penske here at Kentucky. He's won here before. And then Chase Elliott, kind of been the second man in Hendrick Motorsports so far this season. We'll see if Kentucky's a turning point in that regard. Then we have Kevin Harvick in the number 4, still trying to recover after what has been a slow start to his season. And Joey Logano, who's outside that number 22. How about the start for Ross Chastain in the 42? And Alex Bowman has gotten some wins this season. He rounds out the top 10. So Trey, of these top 10 starters, do you think it could be someone starting up here inside the top 10, maybe someone starting a little bit further back to get up here and try and move their way through the field and get this victory at Kentucky?
Joe, it's hard not to favor for Joe Gibbs, right? I mean, they have all 4 of their cars inside the top 10. 3 of them are inside the top 4. I mean, how are you gonna go against those guys?
They are on a little bit of a streak here as of late. As we've talked about, Hendrick versus Joe Gibbs Racing. Hendrick started very, very fast. As of late, Joe Gibbs Racing has kind of cut into that advantage they have, and they've gotten so close to Hendrick's speed, and it's showing here at Kentucky. But Trey, it's about time to go down trackside for the command to fire the engines up in the NASCAR Cup Series race here at the Kentucky Speedway, presented by Quaker State.
Drivers, start your engines!
The cars start to pace off into turn 3, which is called the trickiest corner in all of NASCAR. We'll have to see how the drivers negotiate it at full speed here in this NASCAR Cup Series race. Trey, it is so exciting to be here in the booth for the Quaker State race here at the Kentucky Speedway as we're about to unleash some beasts around this 1.5 mile Kentucky Speedway. These drivers amped up the fans on their feet for what's sure to be one fun race. Kyle Larson, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, the front 5, and then others behind also looking for their shot at glory. The pace car is in. Here we go for the NASCAR Cup Series at the Kentucky Speedway as they come and pace down to take the green flag, and we are rolling in Sparta, Kentucky. Trey, you can already see these changes at work. They're already going 3, 4, even 5 wide. It's already intense racing on lap number 1, and we're only about 100 feet into it.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle Larson did not block the bottom. That allowed Kyle Busch to get right there, and Brad Keselowski's not that far behind.
Look at Harvick!
Oh, look at this Harvick move through the middle.
Trying to shoot up the middle, Ross Chastain. Look at William Byron as well, getting a run as they work down into turn number 1. So some of the changes that NASCAR has made, you're seeing right here, they've taken a lot of the horsepower out, Trey, to try and make the racing as close as possible. Also something that they've changed, fans have kind of argued that some of the races have felt too long, and NASCAR went back, looked at the last 2 seasons at Kentucky, green-white checker finishes, kind of made the deal there. And look at that contact, Harvick and Kyle Busch getting into each other. But Trey, with the green-white checkers being the reasons for the great finishes in the last 2 seasons at Kentucky, we have 2 laps to determine a winner here in this Quaker State 3.
Joe, they're still making contact down backstreet. Now, the 42 is going to get involved with this now as well, but Kyle Busch is holding strong right there in the middle. The 42 is going to dive low in the 3.
Look at Christopher Bell trying to get a side drift. Look at Alex Bowman all the way to the apron. We're almost 7 wide. We're almost 7 wide. Look at this, Trey.
Joe, we're pushing 8 wide.
Trey, this is the future of the NASCAR Cup Series, and I love it.
How can you go against Joe? We're 8 wide right now.
This is not, I don't know if these guys are going to make it work, but you know what? I don't care if they make it work. This is amazing stuff.
And look at the second pack battling back there, too. I mean, Joe, this is absolutely incredible. Now, if I'm being honest, I think the one in the catbird seat right now is probably this, too. He's got the low line. He's getting help from Hendrick and a Joe Gibbs guy, but it's going to be hard to hold off that 42.
What a great flyby right there. You can see the flagman getting ready to take the white flag out and show these drivers 1 lap to go. What a mess of cars, but it's brilliant racing. Ross Chastain, Brad Keselowski basically slamming doors. Alex Bowman and Joey Logano are on the flat, trying to make it work on the bottom. And Kyle Larson, Trey, starting on pole, is falling back, but here he is coming back to the front, that number 5 car.
Look for Joey Logano here in this 22, sneaking his way up here.
Oh, no!
It goes around Keselowski.
Brad, but he saves it. He's still in it. And Joey Logano and Alex Bowman now going at it. And can someone now come from behind? Look at this 5 and 6 wide racing into turn 1 for the final time.
The 19 had a big run on the top side of here, Joe, but with how these guys are racing with this package, I think you want to be where Logano's at right now.
And look at that second pack back there, Trey. They're racing just as aggressively, trying to get these points because the points battle is oh so close, trying to get towards that playoff bubble. As Alex Bowman's trying to beat Joey Logano, Denny Hamlin trying to shove on the bottom with Joey, and Brad trying to come back through the middle. There's contact between Bowman and Chastain.
Oh, big save by Bowman there, running Chastain up the track a little bit there. Maybe some aggressive, anger's getting out here, but they're still keeping it green. Harvick goes high. Oh, he's faking out Logano.
And look at Logano trying to figure out where to block. And look at Denny Hamlin all the way below that yellow line trying to make it work. They are 5 and 6 wide for the lead, entering turn 3 for the final time here at the Kentucky Speedway.
Look at how lost Joey is right now. He doesn't know who to block. It's too little too late. He's down.
Look at Harvick!
Harvick's going on the bottom again.
This is amazing stuff. Hamlin all the way on the bottom. Bowman in the middle. Trey, they're about 7 wide for the win here in the Quaker State 3 at Kentucky. Hamlin trying for a rally. Remember, Brad was spun sideways in turn 1 the last lap. Bowman still on the outside. Harvick in the middle of all of it. We'll see who gets it done as they come off 4 for the run to the checker flag.
Yo, this is going to be an absolute drag race down to the finish. Harvick sideways getting pushed out by Keselowski, but there's not much he can really do, Joe. We're 5 wide for this finish coming into the tri-oval.
Here they come. It is a log jam of cars steaming towards the checkered flag. The fans rise to their feet, wondering who can get it done. Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick are banging doors to the start finish line. It's one of those two, maybe Hamlin or Logano to the checkered flag. I think maybe Kevin Harvick.
The closer closes it.
I think he did. We'll have to see. We'll get official word. Yes, Kevin Harvick has won here at the Kentucky Speedway, his first win of the 2021 season.
Joe, so many people were saying, what's he going to do after a season like 2020? How is he going to do in 2021? And I think we can say that he did not show up like he was last season. But, Joe, I think he quieted all those haters here with this win.
I think he did. And, Trey, you know what? If this is the future for I'm sold. I'm sold on the future for NASCAR. This is brilliant stuff. The next gen car cannot get here soon enough.
I want to go. I want to go for the next however many years with this package, Joe. How could you beat it?
You can't. I mean,
when was the last time you seen 8 wide at Kentucky?
Trey, that was racing at its finest. You could not get any better type of racing than that. I don't care who you are.
No. I mean, you really can't. How many times had these guys bumped doors and there's not any tires down, no damage? I mean, Joe, there was nonstop action the entire time.
Yeah, and think about it, all that silly stuff like pit strategy, pit stops, and who has the fuel to make it, whatever. We don't need that because of how short the race was as well. This is the future of NASCAR here, Trey, and I think the fans, after, there was some controversy leading in. NASCAR announced the changes. Fans and drivers were like, I don't think that's the right change, but after seeing that, Trey, you can't say that wasn't the right change.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, pit stops aren't a thing. So you don't really need pit crews anymore or crew chiefs because what are they going to crew chief for, right? So this is just honestly going to save team monies. It's going to bring all the teams closer together now, just because they're pretty much all spending the same amount now. So Joe, we could have winners in so many races now that honestly we could break record after record.
Yeah, and then think about if the teams don't have to spend all that money for whatnot, the tracks get even more of that TV bonus that comes in, and then the tracks can invest in their facilities to get more fans to the racetrack. It is a win-win for everyone.
I don't hear any downside to this.
This is, and that was pure racing. That was no gimmicky stuff. That was pure racing.
I mean, talk about the save from Brad Keselowski, right?
Yeah.
After the white flag, and he still finished second.
And where else? What other racing series would he have been able to have a shot?
I don't think any, Joe.
Yeah.
I really don't think any, other than the Cup Series right now with this package. It's the only place you could have saved a car like that and still finished second.
Yeah, and you can see everyone giving their congrats to Kevin Harvick after his win here in the Quaker State 3 at Kentucky. And I'm sure we're going to get a word with Kevin Harvick. He's going to be absolutely thrilled with how that race played out. And I'm sure you're going to hear some great comments from Kevin Harvick as well about what he just raced here for this NASCAR Cup Series race.
I mean, Joe, I don't know about you. Every week I listen to the Radioactive, coming like the Wednesday after the races, and this one might be the top one of all time. I just want to hear what's going through all these drivers' head.
Yeah, think about the spotters too, right?
They're calling there. I don't think the last time. I don't think a spotter ever called out 8 wide.
No, and now they're going to be making their money's worth by spotting these Cup Series races in the future, because I'm sure every single race we're going to see is going to be just like this one. And I mean, you're going to have to tune in every Sunday or Saturday night to these races. And I mean, the Kentucky Speedway in the future, I think this could be one of the biggest, probably the biggest race we see on the schedule, a marquee event.
Oh, I don't know how it's not from what we just saw. I mean, you couldn't kick it off any better way. And honestly, this should replace for Daytona, Joe. This was the Daytona 500. It's the new Daytona 5. It's the Kentucky 500.
Yeah, maybe, well, Quaker State 3, but...
oh, you know what I mean, though, right?
I do know what you mean. Yes, this is probably the biggest race now of the NASCAR. I mean, think about it. The last 3 years, we have had such insane last-lap battles for the victory.
You can't argue that. I mean, NASCAR's got to look at this now, and they truly have to ponder the decision for what the schedule's going to look like for next season.
Yeah, probably add a Kentucky race or two here or there. Take out something like, who needs a Bristol race? Who needs a Martinsville race? Who needs a Darlington race when you have this?
Yeah, I mean, this is a super speedway type racing at a not super speedway. So, I mean, who needs any type of super speedways?
Yeah, and I mean, think about Atlanta's turning into a super speedway next season.
Yeah.
I mean,
you don't got to do that no more. All right,
yeah.
But, Joe, I mean, again, like I said, I think NASCAR really, really outdid themselves with this package here. And I don't, and if there's anyone that's against it, then I don't think they're race fans.
No, yeah, I think any of those keyboard warriors can shut up finally about the future of NASCAR.
They can go type about something else now, huh?
Yeah, they go maybe type about how boring F1 and IndyCar are now.
Yeah, I bet you you don't see any passing like this in one of those sports.
No, you
and
do
they
not.
think of all the money they spend on that now, right? That's
Yeah.
just crazy. I mean, Joe, this was absolutely amazing.
And think about the TV partner. We don't have to pay for as much space now in terms of.
Again, Joe, everyone's just saving money here. I don't know what's wrong with this.
Yeah, I really do not know. And I mean, sure, the fans may say we're not getting enough racing for the money that we spend, but I mean, that was more action in 2 laps than you would see in 267 laps.
Yeah, I mean, who wants the... I know that after a while my back starts to hurt, right?
Yeah.
I don't know about you.
You don't want to sit out in the sun too long.
Yeah, that's a sunburn, right? That's just bad, because half the time, people forget to put on sunscreen. I mean, that sunscreen's a pretty forgetful thing, and then you regret it later.
Yeah, it's just opening up the whole Sunday. I mean, we should probably start these races at like 6 p.m. on a Sunday now.
I mean, it's not going to get dark before it closes, right? We can go to so many tracks now and start so late and not have to worry about nighttime.
Yeah, this is a win-win, but unfortunately, we're just at the end of our TV window. Kevin Harvick, the winner in the 2021 Quaker State 3 here at the Kentucky Speedway. For Trey Bardo, I'm Joe Rakowski. So long from the Kentucky Speedway here in the NASCAR Cup Series, where we've seen Kevin Harvick get his first victory of the season and possibly first of many more to end out the season as he builds momentum nearing the playoffs. And happy April Fool's Day.